Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby's Dream Land 2. Now that we've gotten all of level 3 out of the way, including that bonus stage, helpful hint, use up and down to move up or move down more quickly, respectively. And you should be able to get all those stars. That way you have all your business in level 3 taken care of, so you can move on to level 4. Iceberg! Now this time around, we have 4 areas to go through. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first one, obviously, because that's the first one and the only one to actually have a door open for us. We'll be seeing new powers here. Speaking of which, we just saw Sparky for the first time. That's the usual enemy you'd be able to get the spark from. And I also want to get the fireball ability here, because when I go through this door, I'll be able to get the animal ability inside. Remember, you gotta use the fire ability to break these blocks of ice. We'll be seeing them soon, eventually. And in greater numbers. For now, let's just go ahead and enjoy the level a little more with Rick. And believe it or not, when this guy gets towards us, we can just keep attacking him or keep inhaling him, and we'll eventually cause him to explode. So we can finally deal with those enemies. I also want to get this guy moving, so that way he moves out of the way. Stupid Bronto Burt. Now we're at this door, we can ditch our ability and get a new one. Ice. This ability lets you freeze enemies into blocks of ice, and you can send those blocks of ice into other enemies. They'll also eventually go away on its own, though, so as soon as you freeze an enemy, you can basically consider it defeated. Really cool power-up to have. And no worries, I'll just go ahead and swallow that guy to get the ability there. And thankfully, you don't have to be right on the door in order to go into it. But we do have Rocky. He's this stone square. And not only can he run to the wall, he can also do a stomp move. And whenever he does either of those things, he'll cause boulders to come out. And if you swallow them, follow this guy after you spit them at him enough times to kill him, you'll get the rock ability. And it's kind of cool to do this one with Rick, because you can do this. And you're going to see just how useful it is right here. Just like using it with Kirby alone, using it with Rick will cause you to do this, where you just bounce a rock down some slopes. You will still have to move the rock with left and right of control pad, something you can't do with Kirby alone. But even then, that's not the slowest thing in the world to do either, moving around in that form. And that's the first enemy taken down. So now it's on to part 2, where we run into this gust of wind that will always push us forward no matter what, whatever direction the snow is going. Even with an animal buddy, you can't fight it, apparently. Now, there are things we need to do here. First of all, we can't really go any further to the right. We need to go into this door. And that was actually easier than I thought it would be, thanks to the nice looping ability of Rick there. In that bag is Koo. And apparently you need to disregard what I just said about not being able to move against that air current with an animal buddy no matter what, because apparently Koo can, and I just now remembered that Koo can do that. And I just did a practice run of this area as well. How could I forget? I am going to use the Parasol ability, briefly, with Koo. And remember what I said about moving quickly in one of 4 directions? Do that with Koo, get into this door. And from here, you can use the Parasol ability to move through this area extremely quickly, get these stars, and take care of the icicles as they drop down at you. You will really be able to storm through this little vertical section. You even get a few stars in the process, too. Also going to need to use it one last time. That way you can ensure that you get the maximum tomato, which I'm going to take only because I can. And from here, don't ditch the parasol ability before you go into this room just yet, because it will help you make quick work of this room as well. Now, believe it or not, there is a door we can enter. Let's ditch this, swallow the fireball, get his ability. You have a ton of abilities in this room, but only one will break these blocks, and again, it is ice. Now, you want to go to the left to get this one up. Do not go to the right, because if you do, you'll run into that little whirligig enemy that will chase after you if you get close enough to him. And from there, you can just exit. That's pretty much all there is to this area. And I may not get the one up here. Well, I got a one up, but not the one at the top. And now it's time for stage 3. At least we're not dealing with wind currents or any really annoying enemies that will take our animal buddies away if we touch them. At least not yet. You want to take the top path. The bottom path, while it's a little easier, it doesn't lead to anything like any star pickups for 1-ups or anything. You just get nothing out of the deal but enemies, even though it's easier. And from here, you can go into here. This little room here. And you'll fight, I think his name is Chili the Walrus. He'll bend down and send ice cubes at you if he's not running towards you, or doing some weird jumps. And I want Kine, because I'm going to need him later. And because we're going underwater too, which makes this really interesting. And an ability like Ice are the only way to get rid of the enemies down there. And take care of all the enemies in those narrow corridors, as well as the star blocks themselves, with a lot of efficiency, especially when you're trying to go up here to get a star and another maximum tomato. Games seem to be generous with power-ups lately. But there's really not much to this room either. And we should be heading towards the next section before we know it. And here it is. And I thought I was going to turn towards him, but no. And that's what happens if you hit him while you have an animal buddy. He takes it away. And then he acts like nothing happened, like some sort of jerk. Now you see why I don't like those guys at all. And there's nothing down there, unfortunately. I do want to go all the way to the end here. I'm going to float a little here. And when you hit this block, when I hit up on the control pad, when you land on the one below it, that way you'll be able to easily get into that exit door. If you mess it up, you can always hold up the float, which I haven't been doing a lot of, apparently. And from there, it's on the round 4. But before I do this, I'm going to go ahead and go to 3-2. Because there is something I want to do. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and recollect stars because I can. Definitely need the extra lives. Let's just zip past these currents and fight this guy again. Wish I had an ability. It would have made this a little more sped up. But no, I'm going to have to do this the hard way, because I decided not to come in here with an ability. Oh well. If you could have shot a star there, that'd be great, but thankfully we do manage to get one. And we don't really need an ability. when we start 4-4, because when we go there, we're gonna fight a mini-boss automatically. Also like how their actual overworld music in the overworld and the level selects. I really like these songs, especially the one for Ripplefield. Anyway, here's the mini-boss I said we were going to fight. This guy will give us the fire ability, or the fireball ability rather, and I should have waited for that second one to show up there, but thankfully I get a second chance at doing that. And I can get the fireball ability. We're going to need Kine and the fireball ability. Do not take the animal buddy that was in the bag. And now we enter our first auto-scrolling segment. Well, actually there is a second chance at getting the fireball ability in this section, but we're going to have to make it count, because at the very end, if we don't get in the door and get the ability at approximately the same time, we're gonna die. Also, I should have died there. I don't know why I didn't. I wouldn't recommend going for that one. We need a stone ability. Doesn't matter how many fireballs I swallow, if we don't have the mixed ability like in Kirby's Adventure, and you better be ready to jump to the right as soon as you get in this section. And I'm going to hit the, oh, well, I was going to try to hit the ice blocks, but... well, that'll do. Also, if you find yourself slipping and sliding, just jump straight up. You'll instantly lose all slippery momentum, and you'll come to a standstill. And I don't know why I'm hitting these guys. Alright, you gotta do this a specific way. You gotta use Kine and the fire ability to break the 3 blocks in the center. Do not break the ones that I was just standing on over there to the right or to the left, unless you either really need the 1-up and you have to leave the area, or you need the max of tomato and you need to leave the area. Because if you destroy the center ones and then you destroy those, you can't get back up here with Kine. Now let's destroy these guys before they cause any more trouble and get rid, actually collect rather, the stars. And okay, we ditch the power up, get rid of a star block, and we gotta do that twice. Okay. Got it. Had to not talk there because I was afraid I was gonna screw that up. But we did it. And if you go to the right, you'll just get a Gordo. A really useless Gordo who will just do nothing but hurt you. But if you go to the left and use Kine and the fire ability to break those ice blocks, you'll get the rainbow drop. Let's not take the Gordo and get the rainbow drop instead. And now we are free to leave this area and go to the exit. Well, I wasn't going to need that anymore anyway. Ah! Okay. I'm going to try really hard not to get hit here. Awesome. You gotta love those breakaway blocks. And you better be ready to get into the door as soon as you land in there. Alright, we are now done with all the regular levels, which means we can finally take on the boss. Boss for this area is an ice dragon. This guy will cause stalactites to drop down when he stomps. You better be ready to not only avoid the icicles as well as the debris that they leave when they hit the ground, because that will destroy you too, or at least damage you at the very least. And you also got to avoid that attack as well, where he just sends a crystal of ice down at you. And I managed to swallow 2 at one time for a much more powerful attack there. That was great. You can also fly into the air and do a stomp. And we seem to be neck and neck in health right now. Can I hit him again? Yeah, I just gotta do one more hit. Ah. He also has that ice breath, which can freeze you too. There we go. Alright, we are almost done with level 4 now. And of course, just like all the bonus areas before that, all the bonus chances, you will have to do something that's relegated, or related rather, to how that room was. In this case, we're going to have to dodge icicles and grab the stars. I'm also ditching Kine here because I need to be able to move a little better when I do this one. And in case I screw it up, I can just always do it recorded off camera. Also, there are no ice physics in this room. At least the HAL Laboratories, the developers of this game, were at least thoughtful enough to not put ice physics in this room. Everything bounces once. The stars bounce once, and so do the icicles. When the icicles bounce up, they come back down, and then they break when they hit the ground a second time. And that one just kind of felt easy. But these things aren't. These things can be nasty if you're not careful. And that's it for the bonus area and all of level 4 in general. So join me next time where I take on level 5, Red Canyon. Until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care, stay safe. Thanks for watching!